Good morning. Today is Tuesday, the 6th of July. It feels like a Monday, but it is Tuesday. It's going to be a very busy day. Judge Pattison is on vacation. We have arraignments, show causes this morning, pretrials. We're going to do the felony pre-exam conferences. In the afternoon, I think we have several preliminary examinations. You may have seen that some of the other judges, including Judge Stutzman, have terminated their YouTube feed. We're going to continue to broadcast at least through the remainder of this week. I'm on vacation after that for 2 weeks, and then we'll be awaiting additional instructions from the Supreme Court. But for the next rest of this week, and perhaps in the future, we'll be continuing to broadcast on YouTube, sharing these public proceedings. All right, I'm about to start to bring people in here. We're going to have a very busy arraignment morning, and we're going to bring people in one by one. Good morning, Mr. Stickley.
Good morning, Judge. How was your holiday vacation?
I had a very nice weekend. My kids were all home. My granddaughter was there. We had wonderful weather most of the time. Time to get back to work, though.
Yep.
How about you?
I had a wonderful time. I was up in Frankfurt. My nephew got married in a kind of a country wedding setting and a private fireworks show, and it was really
we had a big fireworks show on the 3rd, and then some other people did another one right next door to me on the 4th.
Nice.
I'm trying to figure out who I've got here.
I'm kind of going old school. I don't have a formal docket, so I'm looking up the online calendar just to kind of see what
I've got some people I don't know who they are. We got Dwayne Pitcher. We got Jason Persing. We got Kayla Gearhart. Kenneth Allen, I'm not sure who he is. Wendy Meyer. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Kayla, you got a crying baby back there? I'm going to mute your mic. No, it's not her.
It's me.
All right, Dwayne, we're in court here, so please put your cigarette out. We got, oops. Now, I've got Kenneth Allen. Mr. Allen, what case are you here on?
Excuse me?
Oh, you've got a pre-exam conference. Mr. Allen, you're not set until 9 o'clock.
Oh, I thought it says 8:15 on my ticket. So
But
to check back in.
Check back in at 9, all right?
Okay.
All right. Now I've got somebody listed as Jennifer.
Yeah, that'd be me. I'm using my mouse computer. Richard
what's your
Clements.
name? Patrick Clements.
Richard Clements. Yeah.
All right. Name. And then I'll bring in Heather Maurer. Good morning, sir. You're using Heather Maurer's phone. Who am I speaking with? This is our daily struggle to get everybody identified. And well, I can see Heather, but Heather, you're not here for you. Good Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, put your cigarette down. Please sit down. What's your name?
Tanner Rogers.
All right. All right. I think, oops, let me get that right. Good morning. This is Judge Middleton. I'm in the courthouse in Centerville, and you're all in various locations. This is kind of thing that drives Judge Pattison crazy, getting everybody identified, getting them all here, getting the cigarette out of their mouth, having them sit in one spot. Once upon a time, people would come into the courthouse and sit on a bench and wait their turn. We've set up this virtual system in the last year and a half, and we've been operating under it, and people are getting used to it. But we may be very soon opening the court again and requiring people to come into the courthouse. So it's a privilege right now to be able to do this from your break room or your bedroom or your car. So I appreciate everyone being here in a timely manner. You're here for an arraignment. An arraignment is the process where the judge tells you what you're charged with and asks you how you wish to plead to the charge. We have with us today the Chief Public Defender, which is Mr. Keith Stickley. Also, the City Attorney, Mr. John Barnes, may be joining us. The County Prosecutor has elected not to appear at these arraignments anymore, which is a disappointment to me, but we'll do the best we can. Let's start with Mr. Pitcher. He's got a small child with him. Mr. Pitcher, would you unmute your microphone?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Except for the fact that Mr. Barnes isn't here yet, so I'm going to skip you for a moment and wait for the city attorney. Let's talk to Kayla Gayhart. Or Gerhardt. Miss Gerhardt, could you unmute your microphone? Kayla, could you unmute your mic? All right, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, this is Judge Middleton. You're here for an arraignment. I'm going to tell you what you're charged with. This is file 211240. You're charged with failing to stop at the scene of a property damage accident and operating without a license. This allegedly occurred on May 23rd of 2021. This is the type of case that we would have done an instant pretrial with the county prosecutor, but the county prosecutor doesn't wish to come to these hearings anymore for their own reasons. Mr. Stickley, do you have any sort of plea offer here?
Do not, Your Honor. I would simply advise the client enter a plea of not guilty and set for a pretrial.
All right. Ms. Gerhardt, are you still on 4th Street?
Yes, I am.
This is going to become more acute when people have to drive into the courthouse. You'll get up, you'll drive over here, you'll plead not guilty, and I'll say, come back again on another day. It's very inconvenient, which is why I changed it 20 years ago when I became judge, but they're wishing to change it back. Anyway, Mr. Stickley, the Chief Public Defender, is recommending that you plead not guilty, and I concur with that. We'll set a pretrial with the prosecutor. It will be by Zoom once again, Kayla, and I want you to be able to have your video turned on at that point.
Okay.
One of the problems is that I don't really know who I'm talking to when I only have video. Sometimes I'll ask date of birth and that sort of thing, but I don't really like to put that out live. Anyway, your next court date, I don't know what it is. They will send it to you by the mail. You'll log in by Zoom. It'll be a different number other than this one. And I apologize that we have to do it this way, but some of it's outside of my control. Up until a few weeks ago, we would have just had you talk to the prosecutor right now and see whether we can resolve it, but we can't. All right, do you have any questions?
Will I know how much the fines and stuff are today or at that date?
Well, leaving this, that's a very good question. Fail to stop at the scene of a property damage accident is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. I believe it also carries 2 points on your driving record. You're also charged with having no valid operator's license, no ops. That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. What the prosecutor might do is agree to amend the charge if you get a proper license or pursue getting a license. But they'll discuss that at the pretrial. All right.
Okay.
We'll give you the next date to appear. All right. Thank you. I'll let you go. I'll remove you from the feed. All right. Mr. John Barnes has joined us. The city and village attorneys have continued to agree to appear at the pretrials, which I greatly appreciate, so we can deal with things right now. John Barnes, the city attorney for Three Rivers, is here. We're going to call the case of Dwayne Lee Pitcher. Mr. Pitcher's in the passenger seat of his car. It's alleged that on or about June 23rd, he was driving a car in the city of Three Rivers while his license was suspended. That is our most common offense. We get zillions of these. I guess a zillion is 1,000 billion. It's a lot.
Let's just put that on. He's on your docket.
Okay. Anyway, Mr. Pitcher, driving suspended first offense is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. It carries 2 points and requires that your license be suspended. How do you plead to that charge?
I was driving. I'm guilty.
All right. Did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this
No, sir.
or threaten you?
No.
All right. Well, let me tell you this, and this applies to everyone. You have a right to plead guilty. There's certainly that option. You also have the right to plead not guilty. If you pled not guilty, you would have the right to have an attorney appointed to represent you. For each of you, all you got to tell me is you want an attorney, and I'll appoint one for you. Also, the Chief Public Defender, Mr. Stickley, is here. He's available to confer with you about the cases today. If you had a trial, you would have the right to take a witness stand and testify on your own behalf. But you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you. And you would have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Mr. Pitcher, in looking at your driving record, you've got a lot of baggage on there. You've been suspended for some time, 2011, and then your next thing wasn't until 2020. You actually have more than one driving suspended, but this is charged as the first offense. Where were you going?
I had, my wife just got a car, so we had picked that up and we couldn't find nobody to drive the other truck. So I was following her. She was following me back home, and we was only like 2-3 blocks from the house, and I got pulled over.
Well, Wilbur Road and 131, were you going southbound or northbound?
We was going towards northbound.
Towards Kalamazoo.
Towards Kalamazoo on Wilbur Road.
All right. Well, you live on Broadway Street, so that's
No.
not on the way home.
No, we don't live there no more.
Oh, where do you live now?
We're living with my wife's aunt on Wilbur Road. It's
Okay, so you'll,
5588 Wilbert Road.
why did you need two cars?
Because she had just bought her one, another
Well,
one.
this was at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, we had bought it like the day before, but we didn't go get it until that night. She had paid for the car, and we didn't go get it until that next night to take it home.
All right, are you working somewhere?
I get Social Security, SSI.
Well, you don't owe me any money,
Okay.
but I'm gonna give you a $175 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee. That's a $300 fine. Can you pay that by a date, or do you need a payment plan?
A payment plan.
$50 per month, starting August 1st.
Okay. Well, I was going to come in today and pay some today too down on it.
That's fine, that's fine.
Okay.
You can't drive it, or you got really a difficult time unscrambling your driving record.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do any more than this. Everything I take and fine is money away from your family. Apparently you got enough money to buy two cars. You ought to have enough money to pay your fine.
Yeah.
All right, sir, you're good to go. I've got your new address, and don't drive anymore. You can certainly come in and make a payment. We'll accept that.
Okay.
All
Now,
right.
how can I go through getting my license back? Because it's been like 26 years.
Yes, you've got a lot of baggage on there. You're gonna have to go to the Secretary of State and find out what you need to do. I don't have the authority as a district judge to grant a restricted license.
Okay.
All right. You're good to go. My old friend Wendy Meyer is here. Let's talk to her. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning.
This is Judge Middleton. I'm here in Centerville. Wendy, you've been charged with retail fraud second degree. Let me pull this up. Retail fraud second degree is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000, or 3 times the amount of the value of the property taken. The allegation is that you were in Three Rivers at the Myers store and you misrepresented the price at which property was for sale. They stopped a female customer who attempted to push a large cart of merchandise out the door. Suspect refused to cooperate and left the store on foot. $540. And they have a video of this.
Ms. Meyer, I'm going to highly suggest as public defender that we enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf and set it for a pretrial.
Did you hear that, Wendy?
Yes.
All right. He's recommending that you plead not guilty. I think that's probably good advice. This is a 2020 case. It happened in January of 20. They didn't get around to arresting you until, what happened? They didn't arrest you until June. Now, your house burned. I remember that. But have you been living there at Memory Lane?
Yeah, because actually we've had 2 house fires.
Oh, my. Have you had any more
Yeah,
bad luck?
the first one was in 2018, and then we had another one like a year and a half later.
All right, well, how do you feel about Mr. Stickley's suggestion that you plead not guilty?
I agree with that.
All right, I'm going to show a not guilty plea. Apparently there's a video of this and there's some other stuff. They may wish to review all the evidence and there may be some sort of plea offer because no property was actually removed from the store. Show not guilty plea, appoint an attorney, set attorney pre-trial for August 6th. That's going to be a very busy morning. I don't know what time it will be yet. Does your phone number still end in 6058?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to appoint a lawyer for you. By that date, we'll probably still be doing virtual hearings. So by Zoom, it'll be at a different number. I'm going to send you your attorney. I want you to call the attorney and make an appointment to discuss this with him prior to your court date. You understand?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right. You're good to go. Oops. I'm the wrong guy. Mr. Barnes, I don't know if I have any other customers for you. I have with me, let me make sure. I have Tanner Moyers, and that's yours. Mr. Moyers, could you unmute your mic?
Your Honor, my last name is Rogers. There was a typo on that. It's not Moyers.
All right, well, that's a big deal. Typo, schmipo. Let's take a look. Wow. John, can you hear me?
Yes.
This defendant's name is Tanner Rogers. Tanner, you get a ticket for no license ever applied, but barely read this. Michael Kufelt.
Yes,
You live at Peachtree Street in Constantine?
yes, Your Honor, I do.
Your DOB 628? No, that's not right. John, this is really screwed up. The ticket is in the wrong name. The driving record is in the wrong name.
Maybe we ought to set it for an attorney pretrial conference.
Well, let me look up under Rogers. How do you spell Rogers?
Rogers.
Well, let's see what this is. Yeah, you just got a driving suspended in April under Tanner Rogers.
Yes, and I paid that ticket the same day.
Yes, you did. Oh. I don't have his driving record, John, and the driving record they ran doesn't show anything because it's got the wrong name on it.
Yeah, it might very well get amended if we ran it in the right name and it shows one or more driving suspendeds, we might amend. So if it's possible to amend it verbally on our verbal motion today, it's probably better for him to just plead to the no ops right now than wait for me to amend it to a driving suspended.
Well, right now, the ticket isn't correct. It's in the wrong name. And I don't know who Officer Kufelt is. I think he's new, but I could barely read the ticket, and I'm in no position to criticize anybody else's handwriting. And he got his name wrong. Mr. Rogers, what do you do?
For a living,
Yes.
I assemble trucks at Utilimaster.
Okay, so you work, are you missing work right now?
Yes, I am missing work to be here on this conference.
All right, well, we'll get you back to work in a minute.
I had to take the whole day off, so I just planned on taking care of other errands because they're on a no-fault point system. So 15 minutes of missed work and still get the whole point. So I'm taking the whole day.
Okay, all right. Well, I gotta make you come back because the ticket's screwed up. I can't even take.
I have the original ticket with me right now.
What's that?
If I had the original ticket with me right now.
I have the ticket, but Mr. Barnes is gonna have to recharge this under the proper name.
Okay.
The prosecutor will file amended complaint.
Maybe,
John, I think I'm just gonna set this for a regular pretrial. After you get it straightened out and then look at his driving record. Because right now you don't even know what his driving record is, and neither do I, other than he did have a driving suspended in April. I'll have an amended complaint at least 3 weeks away. Well, that may entail you having to miss work again, which I regret, but we can't sort this out right now because this ticket is not correct. And all right, tell Heather thank you for the technical assist. When you log in next time, you can do it from your work. Don't smoke. And we'll try to take care of this. I don't want to jam you up, but I can't tell what the deal is. So we're going to reset it about 3 weeks out. It'll be on a Tuesday once again. Mr. Barnes will do some investigation, file an actual complaint with your correct name on it. And then we'll go from there. So we'll send you a new notice. Are you still at Peachtree Street, Constantine?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
All right, you're good to go.
All right, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day off.
All righty.
All right, we got somebody in the conference room. I've got Richard Clements and Jason Persing here. And now we got someone else. His name is, are you Ronnie Miller?
Yeah.
All right, good morning. We'll be with you here in just a moment. John, neither of those are city cases. Jamie Scott Blair of Hillsdale is not here. That's yours. Aisha Hunter is yours. She's not here. I don't have phone numbers on each of those. So John, I don't know if you're needed on the pretrial side, but I don't have any more customers for you here. I do have some show causes, which are not yours either. Oh, I have Ronnie Miller. All right, John, you're off the hook. If somebody shows up that we need your assistance, I'll send you an email. Thank you for being here.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, well, let's talk to Mr. Clements. Good morning, sir. You've been patiently waiting. Mr. Clements, I don't know what you're charged with.
So they said it was for stealing.
But they put on there it was for embezzlement.
Well, they haven't filed a complaint.
It didn't?
No.
Oh.
Let me look. This is a pain in the neck because it could result in you getting arrested twice. And this has been happening where they haven't filed a complaint, the people show up for court, and then they issue a warrant and you get arrested a second time.
I was never arrested the first time.
Well, the prosecutor no longer shows up at these hearings. Samantha, has anything come in on Mr. Clements? Keith, this used to happen rarely, and we would wait and then have a complaint filed, and they've got some new policies and procedures there. And I don't exactly understand. But anyway, they haven't charged him with anything. There's no formal complaint. Mr. Clements, what do you do?
I just started working at fiber converters factory.
All right, what shift are you on?
Second.
You live on Mankey Road?
Yes, sir.
Drive past your house every day on the way home back from work, on the way back home from work. Well, I'm going to wait just a minute, but my inclination at this point is to dismiss this without prejudice. There's no charging document. Where was this embezzlement allegedly from? Where did this allegedly happen?
Walmart.
I don't mind dismissing it at all if there's no formal complaint. What I don't like is you running the risk of getting rearrested for the same thing. So I'm going to ask you to wait just a minute. Go ahead and mute your microphone. I'm waiting for the staff to tell me if there's a complaint coming in.
And for the record, Your Honor, I'm sure you can see, but there's a bond receipt in the file all the way from back in June 17th. So they've had quite some time to.
Yes. Well, they're not here. And they don't like it if I try to summon them. So there's nothing down there. I'm going to dismiss it, which I said I wouldn't care if we didn't get charged all over again. We try to monitor. We try to make sure people don't get arrested twice, but it's happened a couple of times recently. And the attorneys are understandably quite concerned about it. Well, let's talk to Jason Persing from Matawan. Mr. Persing, would you unmute your mic?
Yes.
You got a ticket on June 23rd for driving with a suspended license. Driving suspended. First offense is a misdemeanor. As I mentioned, it's our most common offense.
I have paperwork.
Well, just a minute. Let me finish the charge. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Carries 2 points on your driving record and requires that your license be suspended. It was originally charged under ordinance, but they wrote it as a state statute. Sergeant 4. I don't know why they didn't do this as an ordinance. Anyway, that's the charge. What did you start to say, sir?
That I had paperwork from 2019. I paid the fees for when I had my license suspended. I showed the officer that came to this accident, and I got it. It says the paperwork says that I paid the fines. So all I gotta do is go to Secretary of State,
and reapply for my license. I haven't had the money or the transportation to get to
Mr.
Secretary of State.
Persing, I'm gonna advise that we don't bring that up and get into that detail today. And that we enter a plea of not guilty and set it for a pretrial so you can work this out possibly with the prosecutor.
I think that's a good idea. Now, in the meantime, all right, this is 2019, you haven't got around to taking care of your business. So this is something that'll prompt you to actually do what you need to do for your own best interest. My suggestion is, this hasn't hit the Secretary of State yet, that you go to the Secretary of State and get off your behind and get a valid license. You have two options: stop driving or get a license. And so my suggestion is that you try to get a next day appointment at the Secretary of State. You log in right at exactly at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I can't remember what it is. Don't try to get the first appointments. For example, if you log in on July 10th to make an appointment for July 11th, don't go for the 9 o'clock spot. Go for 10:30 or later in the morning. Or if you log in.
I had made an appointment to get my state ID renewed, and they couldn't even get me until September.
All right, that's the regular appointment. You can make a next day appointment where you try to get the instant one.
I didn't know that. But I was on disability, and I needed to drive, and me and my wife were getting a divorce, and I was driving from Madawan to Sturgis.
Hang on.
Yeah, well, yeah, don't say any more about it that implicates yourself. That's Mr. Stickley's here to kind of look out for your rights.
All right.
But I'm going to recommend that you try to find out what you need to do. Because if you get this driving suspended, you're going to be on the merry-go-round and you're not going to be able to get unsuspended.
All right.
All right, I'll plead not guilty and set a pretrial. This is probably what we would have done anyway, even if the prosecutor was here. But I'm going to ask you to come back. Are you missing work today?
No, I get SSI, and my wife and me were getting a divorce, and I was in the process of moving stuff back and forth.
Yeah, don't say any more about it. I don't want you to implicate yourself. I appreciate your candor. You're being honest and straight up, but at this point, you're presumed to be not guilty, and I don't want to compromise your rights. I think something can probably be worked out for this. If it can't be, you can get an attorney to assist you. But for the time being, I'm going to adjourn 3 weeks. Non-attorney. I've got the Patton Drive address in Madawan. Is that accurate?
At the moment, we're getting a divorce, and I don't know where I'm going after this.
Well, I'm going to send the mail to that, which will tell you what time to log in for that next pretrial.
All right.
All right. I'll see you in a couple weeks, okay? I want you to try to get one of those next day appointments. Even if you can't get a license, find out what you need to do.
To get it going.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Samantha, any update on Mr. Clements yet? All right, we got Ronnie Miller here. He's ordered a show cause. He didn't show up on a no valid operator's license. And he's here today. This is file 21653OT. This is a borough case. Mr. Miller, you got a ticket. Could you take your mask off?
Yeah.
You got a ticket for driving without a license.
Yeah.
That's a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. It does carry 2 points. They allege that you were in Baroque. You missed some court dates.
I have to pay 2 reinstatement fees, and then I'll have my license.
All right. Well, you don't have it now. How do you want to plead to this charge?
I would advise you to plead not guilty and set up for a pretrial.
Yeah, that's what.
All right. Well, then I would advise you, we don't have reinstatement fees well, we don't have driver, yeah, you need to pay the reinstatement fees.
Yeah.
My suggestion is that you do that, and then maybe the prosecutor will grant you some consideration.
Yeah, I owe $275 and they said I had my license. $125 for each reinstatement fee and then $25 for something else.
All right. Well, stop driving, especially in Burr Oak.
Yeah, I'm not. I have just me and my mom and we're probably bought a house. And we're fixing it up and moving right now.
All right. This is a Burr Oak case, and the Burr Oak Village attorney never comes. So we'll try to set a pretrial with the Burr Oak attorney. You could go a long way to helping yourself if you pay those fees. I don't know right now what date that's going to be. Are you still at the Clinton Street address?
Yeah, I can pay on the 1st. I get that.
All right, well, that'll be, I'll say, set the 1st of August?
Maybe possibly the 1st of July.
Oh, all right, well, we're past the 1st of July, but.
All right. Yeah, the 1st of August.
All right, set after August 1. All right, Mr. Miller, the good news is we took care of that. The bad news is there's a warrant out for your arrest on a charge of assault and battery and trespass.
Yeah, I have.
Stop. Let me tell you what the charge is first. This is file 211110SM, People versus Ronnie Lee Miller. Let me see if this is even in my queue yet. No, I gotta hunt for it.
In this case, I want to press my own charges.
All right,
This
well,
guy came into my yard.
Hang on a minute. Hang on, sir.
Just a minute. No, it isn't in my queue yet. So let me find it. Just a second.
I know. Well, one day my girlfriend was on a 911
Well,
call.
all right, but just wait a minute, Ronnie. Let me tell you what the deal is here.
Okay.
As I indicated, there's a warrant for your arrest.
I didn't know that. I thought I was coming in here to show pictures of what had happened that day. The only thing had happened is my dog got loose.
Stop. All right, it's alleged that on or about May 29th, that you made an assault upon Walter Wright and trespassed on his land. Assault and battery is a 93-day, $500 misdemeanor. Trespass is 30 days and or $250.
I never assaulted him.
Okay, well, that's all right. Hold it. They allege that Ronnie Miller's dog ran in her yard and boyfriend, anyway, they allege assault and battery. Now, this happened allegedly May 31st, and they set a PR bond. You posted the bond, and then it got switched to Judge Patterson's docket, and then you didn't show up for court.
I missed the court date. I didn't get it.
So they waited 48 hours, then they issued a bench warrant. So you've already been arraigned on this, so you don't have to get booked in. So I'm gonna reduce the bond to a PR bond. The fact that you're here at the courthouse indicates you're not a flight risk.
Can I say anything about the case right now? Or
Not at this point.
okay.
It's not that I'm not interested in hearing what you have to say, but I'm more concerned about protecting your rights. Anything you say here, the prosecutor could use against you. So you'd want to be able to confer with your own attorney first. All right, so missed a date. Bond is returned to 500 PR. I looked at the jail roster this morning. There's 114 people in jail. 41 of them have a failure to appear component. People don't show up, and all they got to do is dial in. At least you got off your butt and drove over here. We're about to return to that. But Ronnie, I think the thing to do here is get a lawyer for you.
Yeah.
Appoint an attorney. The defendant says he was assaulted.
Yeah, I have pictures and documentations of it. So.
All right, well, hold on to those. All right, we're going to appoint an attorney, set attorney pretrial for August 6th in the morning. We'll send that to Clinton Street address. I don't yet know who your attorney is going to be.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Miller. I would go ahead and try to pay those driver responsibility fees.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
In fact, I'm gonna set that other one. I'll appoint the attorney. For the other case, 211110. So your next court date is August 6th of 21. And we'll put both cases on the same day.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll send you that information. You're free to go on about your business.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Clements, thank you for your patience. No complaint filed yet. You've been on bond for about 3 weeks. Matter is dismissed without prejudice. Okay. Do you have any questions? Now, what if they do issue a complaint? Hopefully, they will send a notice to appear. I'm going to put this, prefer notice to appear. Defendant already arrested. But at this point, this matter is dismissed without prejudice, no complaint. Mr. Clements, you're free to go. All right. Keith, I think that's it. I've got a bunch of people in here who I don't know who they are. So I don't think they're any of our pre-trials, but I've got a couple no-shows, Jamie Blair and Aisha Hunter. I also have some order to show cause on Jacob Britton. He might be here. And John Paul Lewis. But I'm going to shut things off, bring everybody in and identify them, and then turn it back on. So you're off the hook. If I need your help, I'll send you an email.
Sounds good.
Karen Johnson is in the hallway waiting for the conference room. She's one of your PCs today.
Okay.
But there's 2 people in front of her waiting to use it for pre-trial.
Okay, well, she'll just have her way. All right, thank you, Keith. All right, I'm gonna shut off our live